Hello again. We are in our Fishers of Men series. This is going to be video number 5 of 66. And out here on the boat doing some fishing. You can hear in the background, you hear some pop, 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 pop. The lake I'm at today is actually near a gun range, so that's what that sound is. Anyway, I want to tell you a story as we start today about jealousy. And I don't consider myself a very jealous person, but I got to go back to my wife when we were dating in college. And we dated for 4 years, and we dated off and on. It was a wild time. I've shared with you a lot of that. But anyway, so one summer we broke up, and I came back from the summer after not being at school. You know, you go in college, you go back home usually, and came home, and I was walking into the student center, and Megan had this beautiful long hair, and I loved her long hair. I would always comment on it. I mean, it was absolutely gorgeous, and her hair is still gorgeous today, by the way. Oop, oop. Anyway, lost track of my thought. So I come back from summer, and I go to the student center in the parking lot, and I get out of my truck, and I start walking in the student center, and I happen to turn around and see this motorcycle drive by with this guy on the front and Megan on the back with her hair chopped off. And man, I'll never forget the jealousy inside. I mean, we weren't even dating at the time. I mean, you know, she had the right to do that or whatever else, but I mean, I was so jealous. I couldn't believe it. Motorcycle guy. And anyway, we ended up going out together again, obviously, and got married later on. But man, that jealousy and rage inside of me was so strong. It was like anger mixed with sadness, mixed with I don't even know how to explain it. Some of you may have gone through this before, whether you've had girlfriend or boyfriends, or maybe you liked a girl or liked a boy, and they liked somebody else. You know that feeling that I am talking about. So there was a second time, actually. Again, we were broken up, and I went to a basketball game, and a whole bunch of people at this basketball game having a good time, lots of fun, and in walks Megan with a guy she was either dating or flirting with, whatever you want to call it. And even across the entire gymnasium, I saw her walk in with him, and I was distraught. I was so jealous, and this time it was more of a sadness than anger, and I had to leave. I mean, I couldn't even stay at the basketball game. So those feelings of jealousy were so strong. And we're going to talk about jealousy today, because in the book of Deuteronomy, it says, Deuteronomy 4:24, the Lord our God is a consuming fire. He is a jealous God. And that's kind of weird to think about, especially because in the Bible, it talks about the fact that jealousy, it can be a sin. When you want other people's stuff, you see somebody with the new phone, and you want it, and you kind of have those feelings, and that's the bad kind of jealousy. So God's perfect. So what does it mean that God is a jealous God? And the answer is that we are His. We belong to Him. And it's kind of like my marriage now with Megan. Now, that jealousy I was talking about before, we weren't married, she wasn't mine, so I guess that's more of a sinful jealousy than anything. Not quite sure. But let's say now we were go to a party, and I look across the room, and Megan's over there flirting with some muscle guy, six-pack, she's sitting there flirting, like, hi, like rubbing her hair and being like, ooh, and flirting with him. How do you think that would make me feel? Now, I totally trust Megan, so I don't know how jealous I would get anyway, but that would make me jealous. If she started going and hanging around and spending a lot of time with another guy, I would get jealous. I'll tell you right now, it made me want to go and beat him up, and and I would have those feelings again, I think, of anger and sadness and jealousy. That's the type of jealousy that God has for us. He loves us. We have a relationship with Him. We're committed to Him. And so when we give our time, our devotion to other things besides Him, it is if we are betraying Him in the sense of our relationship with Him. And He gets jealous. He's not okay with it. He's not just, well, you know, go do your thing. No, he wants devotion from us. And he loves us enough that he gets jealous. I mean, that just shows a love for him. If I didn't care for Megan and love her, I wouldn't care if she went and talked to some other guy, you know, like whatever, you know. But I love her so much, and we're devoted to each other so much that it would bother me and it would upset me. And that's the relationship we need to have with God. So this week, I want to challenge you to think about, what are you giving your devotion, your time, your energy, your efforts to? You know, what is it? And how much time and energy and devotion are you giving to God? And I think if we're honest with ourselves, we're definitely not committed enough to God. And when we're not, he's jealous. He's upset. He's sad. And so we need to work on our relationship with God so that he's not jealous. And we need to know that he loves us enough and he cares enough that when we give our efforts, our worship in a lot of ways of other things, it upsets him. And so let's not upset God. Let's strengthen our relationship with him by giving him our devotion and not other things. That is video number 5 of 66. We will go on to 6 next time. Hope you have a blessed day.